Hello and welcome to Mind, Mood and Food podcast with me, Margaret Bell, anti-diet powered coach and gut health expert, and my partner in crime, Adele Derbyshire.
Hello, I am a yoga teacher and creator of Find Your Inner Sparkle, which is a toolbox, 50 ways to help you to look and feel better from the inside out.
And today, the subject is all about essential oils and an introduction to. So, Adele, over to you.
Hello, yes, a very, very good subject close to my heart. I've been using essential oils for 2, maybe 3 years now. Can't quite remember. But yeah, I was introduced to them a good while back. And introduced to proper good quality oils as well. I kind of dabbled with them before that, when you get some at the local shop and you just pick them up for a few pounds and you kind of put them in, I don't know, a little oil burner or something like that. But I didn't really know what I was doing. And then I heard somebody talking about using them to make your own blends, and actually using them for health benefits. And I just really fancied getting into that. I fancied the kind of, I don't know, like a white witch type element to it, that is like somebody that makes up little potions that you can use not just on yourself but on your family, your kids. When anybody's got something going on, you can like go and get a little blend, create it up and say, right, this is what you're going to be using. So yeah, I got into them very, very basically a few years ago with, simple things like using a peppermint oil to help treat a headache. So something like that was how I started. And then I remember in the beginning thinking, I'm never going to remember like this. I've got a big book and an app and all sorts now, but just remember thinking, oh God, there's so many oils, and how do you know what to use for what? And I don't know, like maybe you have to use certain oils together in a blend for a fragrance even, which now seems it's kind of ridiculous because I'll just mix anything that smells good now. I'll just like see if they work well together and make my own blends up. So because all of the oils work on different things, you can't really go wrong with it other than the internal use. So some oils you cannot take internally. So you can't take all brands of essential oils internally. So most of them will say on the bottle like not to be ingested, and this might be a bit controversial to some people. Some aromatherapists might be like writing in going, you cannot take oils internally, but the oils that I use and share and represent as a consultant, you absolutely can, because they're just completely pure and they are therapeutic grade, and they are high quality oils. And so that company is doTERRA. So those are the ones that I recommend. And I've been taking them for ages, for different things internally. But you need to know, like, you can't take certain oils internally. So make sure you do check with, with a qualified person really before you start using them. But yeah, I know you've started using them recently as well.
I have, but you're absolutely right. I love that bit about the white witch. Because if you think about it, centuries and centuries ago, before the likes of pharmaceuticals, what did people use?
Exactly. We were put on this planet, I really do believe, with everything that we needed to help treat certain things and conditions, and just to help heal ourselves really. And that's not to say, like, obviously I would not want to be back in those days where we just had our plants and we didn't have our modern medicine. I do want to say that, like, 100%, when we need to go to hospital and get treated and get antibiotics and get things that help, surgery and transplants and all of those wonderful things. But I think we have, because we got carried away with that kind of Western approach, I think we have somewhat lost our way, and people they're just not aware that they've got choices. So the first thing everybody does when something's wrong is, go to the doctor. I mean, why wouldn't you? But it's like when you've got a headache, the first thing, a doctor would never prescribe anything like a homeopathic remedy or an essential oil. They would say, if you took a painkiller, where's your paracetamol? And if you've got a virus, they'll give you the antibiotics. If you've got pain in your back or anything like that, they'll give you the painkillers, the stronger painkillers, obviously, if you're in a lot of pain. And if you're stressed, they'll give you the antidepressants. So the first thing people do is go to the doctors, and unfortunately, one of the main remedies available are always the drugs.
Yeah.
And they do come with side effects. There aren't any drugs that don't come with that big fold out leaflet that gives you the list of scary side effects that everyone would rather not read until they really need to read it and understand what might be going on for them. Whereas the essential oils that we've got available that are taken and extracted from plants, from the leaf, from the stem, from the bark, from all the different elements of the plants, they don't have any side effects.
No.
And we don't become resistant to them either, because each bottle of oil is slightly different. It's molecular structure, and it's taken from a slightly different plant. So it's the same plant, but it's a slightly different variation of that. So each lemon is different. Like, it's not exactly unique. Whereas if something's man-made in a factory, it's just made to that prescription, and it's exactly the same makeup. So we can become resistant to things, obviously, like the antibiotics.
Yeah, when you say it like that, it makes so much blooming sense that nature isn't meant to be perfect, so it never will be. So anything that we take from nature will just have different slight effects in our body, and it will adapt in different ways, whereas the likes of pharmaceuticals do what they said on the tin, I guess. There's no kind of variation at all in them.
No, and it's not that they don't work. Like, there are obviously they're proven to work for the conditions that they're designed to treat, but they do come with the side effect. The amount of medication that you end up on when you're older, like my mum ends up on quite a few different medicines for high blood pressure and thyroid and anxiety and stress, and we start to build up this catalogue of medicines otherwise. And if you can take something that is more natural and that's meant to be absorbed into your body, because we don't reject plants, that we're built to accept them. A lemon is a lemon, a peppermint leaf is a peppermint leaf, and it's completely natural, and we accept it and absorb it into our system without any known side effects whatsoever. So if I can put a couple of drops of peppermint oil on my temples when I've got a headache instead of taking a paracetamol, then why wouldn't you? If I can drink a drop of lemon oil in a glass of water to help my digestive system, rather than take a chemical pharmaceutical product which may have side effects and commonly has side effects, then why wouldn't you? If I can rub a cream that has got a blend of beautiful essential oils on my back for back pain, instead of taking strong painkillers that then irritate the stomach lining, why wouldn't you? So it's just having a choice, and having that empowerment that you can go to your own medicine cabinet that is now made up of natural products that are not going to be harmful, and knowing that I can give that to my children is really, really, really good. I really, really value the fact that and whatever they say they've got going on, they laugh now and say, have you got an oil for that, mum? if definitely, if they're feeling sick or they've got anything going on with their tummy, one of the blends that I find is just miraculous in our house anyway, is the Zengest blend, which is the blend for it's sometimes called the tummy tamer. And because you know what kids are like, if anyone's got like a sickness bug or they're feeling cardiac, anything like that, it's kids. And if they've got that going on, then they're a little bit older, so I wouldn't tell a small child to ingest the oils. What you would do is you would dilute it in some fractionated coconut oil or a carrier oil, and you could just rub that on their tummies or on the bottoms of their feet if you're going in the car and you know that they're car sick, or even give it them to smell. But the tummy tamer you can take in a glass of water. So it's got lots of lovely oils in, like peppermint and ginger and fennel, those things that are known to be good for sickness. You know, when you say it, people are like, oh yeah, of course, ginger. We know ginger's good for nausea and, you know, even morning sickness. It's any kind of sickness or any kind of like IBS, irritable bowel, you know, anything like that. The Zengest blend is really good for, and it really works quite fast. It works pretty quickly within half an hour. They're then saying, oh, I feel much better now, Mum. You know, that's brilliant. So yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And as you said, I've started to use them myself, and you know, gradually just easing myself in there. I'm having the lemon and peppermint in the morning, but what I've noticed, I don't really drink coffee in the morning anyway, so I'm not the kind of person that needs that caffeine hit. But when I have the lemon and peppermint together, whoa, does that peppermint wake you up?
Yeah. And you can even like smell it in the glass sometimes, even if you're not diffusing the oils in the room. What's nice is, like, I know in autumn, winter, when I take the On Guard blend, which is a blend, it's a protective blend. So when all the colds and the flu start to come out, especially if you do it in hot water, because it's in hot water, if you walk back in the room, you've just got this really beautiful kind of Christmassy cinnamon type smell going on, that you've not even been diffusing oils, but they're just in the room. And you know, you can diffuse it in a cold water diffuser, which is the best way to use them, to perfume the room, if you like. But yeah, even just popping one drop in the hot water just creates this really nice smell. So you know, you get the best of both worlds.
I think I'll be getting that one shortly, since we're coming up to the festive season. You know, it's not that far away at any time.
Well,
anyway.
yeah, still a little bit away, but yeah, not too far. I mean, the year's going quite quickly anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. So when it comes to essential oils, obviously I'm starting to dip my toe in those, because I really feel with the gut health knowledge that I have, that's really the next step forward, to be able to recommend specific oils, you know, to improve gut health and really deal with, you know, signs that I see in regards to gut health, IBS, constipation, things like that. If we're given an introduction to essential oils to people, what would you say is probably the best ones to start with? What should they start possibly using?
Yeah,
or
great.
would you go off specific ailments that they have?
Yeah, it's a great question. What I would normally do is always ask people what they've got going on personally. So people have different things going on. So some people are more concerned with kind of emotional health, or you know, they're struggling with anxiety or depression or something like that. So you want like a nice calming oil like a lavender, or you know, an uplifting oil like a wild orange or your lemon or something like that. Some people are struggling with tiredness and fatigue, and something like peppermint would be brilliant to kind of pep you up, where that exactly comes from. So just to kind of give you that lift, and to maybe swap that out for something like the caffeine if you're drinking a lot of coffee, to do that, because as we've talked about before, the caffeine, obviously, you know, I like a coffee. Everybody knows I like a coffee, and it has to be a nice coffee. I am a coffee snob. Not an expensive coffee, just a nice coffee. Proper filter coffee. But instead, because that gives you that kick, but then you do get that drop afterwards. So with something like peppermint oil, then you're not getting that crash. And people do already drink things like peppermint tea, so it's not too far of a step for people to get to grips with what that is and what it's for. So peppermint is great for your digestion, and it's also great for your energy. And these oils, just to give you an idea of how strong they are and pure, Like literally one drop of peppermint oil in your glass of water is equivalent to almost 30 cups of peppermint tea. And so you're not really going to sit there, you know, if you just dip the tea bag or even you leave the tea bag in, you're still not getting the same powerful effects as you are off a pure distilled drop of peppermint oil from a high quality brand like doTERRA. And that's why people say it's really like powerful and it's really strong. And you're saying, "Ooh, you get that." No, you daren't slip and drop two drops in, because
I have once. It's just like, oh.
Put more water in, put more water in. And you can like just refill the glass, you know, 2, 3, 4 times. So
it's still there.
Yeah, it works out. You know, yes, it's more expensive than the cheaper, you know, less quality brands, but it still works out like pennies per dose. You know, that bottle, a 15 ml bottle, it's got like 255 drops in it. And if you're drinking that one drop, 2, 3, 4 glasses throughout the day, you can see it's going to last you ages.
Yeah.
They really do last, and you get what you pay for at the end of the day. But yeah, so I'd start with something like asking what people are needing, you know, what their health needs are, and then, you know, giving them the specific oil that helps with that. And that they also do like kits. So you can get a starter kit which has what we call our top 10 oils in. And that is great for, you know, like a family household where, you know, one minute your husband's been playing squash down the gym and he's pulled his back or whatever, and you've got the deep blue. The pain, you know, somebody's got a headache, you can use the peppermint. Somebody's got a tummy problem, so you've got the blends in there like the Zen Jess. So the little packs that are like an introductory kit with 10 oils and blends in there, they work really well for people just to start playing with, you know, blending slightly different blends. Like you can use your lemon and peppermint in your diffuser to create a nice zingy fresh blend in the morning, and then you can start adding little things into your collection and just build your collection. Like my collection's huge now, but in the beginning it wasn't. I just started with those top 10 and just mixed and matched and worked with those until I got, you know, more confident with the oils, what they're for and how to use them.
Yeah. Nope, I've got that kit, and I think you recommended a couple of weeks ago, when it was probably when we were starting to look. We've been talking today about mortgages. Sorry, people. I've just got a new mortgage deal. It's been on my mind for a couple of weeks, shall we say. But yeah, I was anxious about that, to say the very least. And I can remember you saying, right, do lavender and frankincense together in the actual water diffuser.
Yeah,
worth a treat.
It's beautiful, isn't it? I've got a bit obsessed with that again the last few days, to be honest, because I play with all sorts. I've got like, you know, cedarwood and bergamot and all sorts of different things that I love, but I still come back to basics. So one of the first ones you'll want to add in after that kit is wild orange. It's a relatively inexpensive oil. It's about £9 or something for your 255 drops. And the wild orange with the lavender and the frankincense in the diffuser is it is lovely. It is really nice. So I've been just using that, and just for the last few days I love it that much. I just keep putting the same ones in, and just having it in the living room, because it's great as well, like for other people. So for the pets, you know, and for the kids, they're really good for the pets. I know some people like worry about diffusing oils around pets, so it's probably worth mentioning. But there are only a few that you've got to be careful with. One of them is like tea tree, and I don't really know anyone that likes to diffuse tea tree anyway. And I use the tea tree for it's kind of like great for antifungal type things. So just if you're eating, you might want to put it down right now. But just to talk about ingrowing toenails for a moment, my son, bless him, he really struggles with them because we've got weird shaped feet, well, toenails in my family, and he's inherited it. So they're like really curved, like really tight like that. You can't see because it's not C vision, but I'm on Zoom with Margaret at the minute, and they're like really curled tight, so it digs in. So he's always struggling with them. We're really trying to get it sorted for him at the minute. But then that he can soak his feet in water with the tea tree in. But you wouldn't want that, near the dog, because it can be toxic to the pets. But other than that, like, I'll diffuse anything, and as long as you've got the doors open, so that if the dog is not happy or the cat is not happy, they will
get out,
will wander out. Never lock and shut them into a room where you're diffusing oils and they can't escape. But he loves my oils. If I go to my box and I undo the lid, and what I do, because they must be so strong to him, because they're so powerful to me, never mind him, and dogs have like smelly vision or whatever, don't they? If you can, I can take the lids off and I just put the lid, and he goes up and he's like, and he sniffs, he tries to get to the oil. So I'm like, do you like this one? Do you like this one? And sometimes I'll just let him pick, what we're having in the diffuser, because he's like, he goes up. So if I open the box, he's in there. He's like, yes, she's getting the oils out. Let me in.
Oh, fantastic! I love that he's actually choosing your oils as well.
Yeah, but there are people that do that do recommend doTERRA and use doTERRA who are vets. So there's a lady that I follow, I think she's called Janet Rourke, and she's a vet that talks about using different oils safely with your animals to actually help them and support them when they've got things going on as well. So like Stormzy, my puppy, he's got quite red, dry ears. So we're not sure exactly what's going on. It's not, it's not the fleas, and he's had all the treatment and the mites and stuff like that. But if it is just the skin, because it's been if he's been outside and he's got floppy ears,
so they don't a bit.
Well, yeah, and they don't I try and flop them back, but they don't get the air as much as they should do. So I've just been using coconut oil, fractionated coconut oil, which is coconut oil in a liquid form, with a couple of drops of lavender, because lavender is a calming oil.
Yeah.
So if you think about lavender as being calming, that means you can take it to help calm you, as you did with your mortgage stress. You can diffuse it to help calm you and them, but you can also like use it to calm a skin condition or a bug bite, or something like a rash that's irritating your skin. So it's calming across the board. So I put a drop of that into the fractionated coconut oil and just rub it onto his ears, and he just loves it. He's like, oh, like rub, massage it more, mum.
That's a great tip, because I presume that'll work for like bee stings, wasp stings, things like that. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And you can get like little roller bottles. So doTERRA do them already made up with fractionated coconut oil, and I love the lavender one, because I'll just put that on my temples, and it's just easy to swipe it over your temples and your forehead at night for bed, or on your pulse points. But you can buy the empty rollers and make your own, or you can like refill them when you've used them up. So yeah, there's just so many uses, for if anything that you can think of, stress, pain, tummy problems, indigestion, mood, grief, emotional. I've got a book that I absolutely love, which talks about the emotions, because that's what I love to obviously work with anxiety and fear and depression and low mood or low confidence. That's like kind of my bag that I love to help people with. So there's oils that help with all those different things, and that speak to that different emotion. So if you look up the emotion in the book, it'll tell you which oil and then which ones blend well and work well together to help support that you can use.
Flipping heck. So what would you say if, okay, we know to uplift, it's probably the likes of lemon and peppermint that you said.
Or any of the citrusy ones are great for that, like the wild orange as well.
So would it be the same for the likes of anxiety, or would we be looking at something maybe a slightly different blend for that?
There's lots of different ones, but one of the blends that I love is called Adaptive, and that is gorgeous, and it's just, you can't like get enough of it. And that again, doTERRA kind of create those blends that maybe you wouldn't have all the individual oils. You might not have them all in your collection, so you can buy a blend, which means you don't have to have rosemary or, you know, something that you might not have got yet, which is a bit more obscure. But yeah, Adaptive is brilliant for that is the blend for anxiety and depression. But you could also use your lavender, you know, if you didn't have the Adaptive. So that's, again, it's a calming oil. Anxiety, again, frankincense, 1 drop under the tongue, or take it in water, or you can even take them in a little empty veg capsule. So you can get these like capsules, which are like £3 for a tub of loads. And then again, if you know, some people will say, oh, you know, I don't like the taste of the peppermint, it's too strong, I can't drink it in water, you know, da-di-da. You can just get the little caps, you just open it, pop 1 drop of your oil in, close it back up, and take it like you would any other tablet. So again, the white witch thing, you can make and take your own natural medication.
That's amazing. I love that idea.
There's always, you know, ways that you can use them. Like you can use them topically, sort of on your body, especially with the kids. It's nice to put them on the bottoms of their feet. So if they're stressed or if they're struggling to sleep, blend a bit of lavender with some coconut oil and put it on the soles of their feet, even diluted correctly. You know, even babies, it's safe to use on babies. So there's always ways that you can use them. So yeah, I just think, I mean, you can tell, like, I love talking about this subject, but I could talk about it all day, but better not. But I mean, you know, what I've just talked about there is kind of a really brief introduction to really kind of whet people's appetites. But if you are interested in learning more, anyone that's listening to this is obviously welcome to come follow me in my group, or to drop me a message. And what I would do is, again, just ask you what you're struggling with, and give you a little sample, maybe just to try something, see if you like it.
Yeah, I think that's the best way as well, because as you said, let's face it, the oils in the shops, they might be okay to smell, but to actually digest or to even put on your skin, to be quite honest with you, you've got to be really careful. And that's one thing that I've learned with doTERRA, is that they're premium quality, so you can use them different ways.
You just don't know with the ones that you know, you can get in the shops for £3. I mean, they're not going to be the best quality oils for that price.
Of a high content anyway, really. If it's just that much, it's probably just quite a lot of a carrier oil most of the time.
And the thing is, they can still say like 100%. What I was always confused with, well, this one says 100% pure, but they can say that if you've got 100% pure peppermint oil and you put some of that into that bottle that you're selling, you can say that's got 100% pure peppermint, because it has got it in it, but it's not the whole thing's not 100%. So that's quite a clever way of getting around it, really. And then people just think, oh, well, you know, doTERRA is more expensive, because if you're paying £20 for a bottle of, you know, really good quality peppermint oil or whatever it might be, versus £3 or £4, you're going to think, oh, it's expensive, but it's not, because it's pure, and all you're getting in that bottle is peppermint oil. It is literally just the extraction of the peppermint oil from the plant, nothing else. And that's why, of course, you can put a drop in water and drink it, because it's peppermint oil, it's nothing else, so it's natural, so it's not going to do you any harm.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, I've learned a bit.
Yay. That's good.
And I'll definitely be using the oils more and more, because I can just see the benefit it has. Well, not just for me, but I'm definitely sure it'll benefit a lot of clients when it comes to gut health and their overall health, really. Just as you said, an alternative to the likes of painkillers and things like that. Let's have that alternative there. Let's not disrespect the painkillers, but just have that alternative, so you have got the choice.
You've got that choice. Absolutely. So thank you very much for this lovely discussion on one of my favorite subjects. And if you have enjoyed it, got something from it, loved it, liked it, then do give us a little like or a love, leave us a comment. That would be amazing. Tell your friends about this podcast and
Absolutely.
maybe give it a little review wherever you get your podcast from. That will be very much
That would be
appreciated.
absolutely fantastic. And don't forget to subscribe, and we will be back in a fortnight's time. So thank you for joining us, and we'll see you very soon.